Welcome to Wellington's Wide Zone, a podcast dedicated to curate weekly conversations, be a constant sports hub for content and interview game changers within the community and the world. Back with another episode, Wellington's Wide Zone. And I am it's been a minute. It's been a minute since I've done an episode, a full long episode. And the thing I wanted to say is I know sometimes there can be a wondering of like, man, like there's a distance between the long form episodes, and a lot has been going on. Busy work life, all these other things, music, album dropping next month. So a lot of things I've been working on creatively, but every day, almost every day, or 3 to 4 times a week, I do my Lincoln's Y Zone videos. You can follow them on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, X, YouTube under Wellington Burns and Wellington's Wise on YouTube page. So follow that if you really want to get that daily content, which is what I try to do. So if I don't post episodes, I can like still get those daily bite-sized clips because a lot of things have been happening with the NFL, NBA starting. College football in the thick of things as the season is getting closer to the college football playoff grind. And I wanted to get into a lot of those things. And before I do that, I want to get into some just housekeeping content. Not housekeeping like I'm starting a housekeeping podcast. I mean just like the weekly run of the mill things that I've been involved in. But I wanted to say that Super Willow Dance music video, first single off my upcoming album, Faith Over Feelings, is going to be dropping soon. Jamal Sharp, incredible videographer. I had him on the podcast. He did the Back in the 850 music video, also the Unanswered Text. We had a lot of fun doing that one. A lot. You guys are you guys will be pleased to see the different changes we made and just the fun we had doing it. Obviously, always honored to God for the gifts that He's given me, and also an amazing videographer. It's just a blessing to be able to like continue to walk into this light of the creativity and just the message that I believe God wants me to give to the next generation. So be on the lookout for the Super Wello Dance music video. It might be already out by the time you're listening to this episode. It might not. But keep your eyes out for that. And also have a special movie review coming up for the next episode. I'm doing it's a decade. It's been a decade since this movie has been out. So that's the only thing I'm gonna give. We're gonna have a guest on that we've had on for some past episodes, but we're gonna do it like a decade recap of a movie came out 2015 around December, and it's going to be a lot of fun getting back into that. But I first wanted to start off with the Bills loss to the Texans, and it's really interesting, 23-19, to see how the offensive line for the Bills just struggled tremendously. And the Bills' offensive line is like really good. You know, they got harassed. Josh Allen got sacked 8 times, and the Bills had three turnovers that were very costly. And this is a game where I had even said it on a Wellington's Wise Zone video yesterday, where the Bills' inconsistency is just continuing to rear its ugly head. It's just continuing to do it. I for one don't think that this is the same Bills team as of the last 3 to 4 years, where many times I'd be like, oh man, like the Bills, they got a shot to get to the AFC Championship. Not saying that they don't now, but this is like a complete sizable letdown of what they were in past years, where we felt as though this team can do it. This team can get to that spot. This team can challenge the Chiefs, the Ravens, all of the above. Now, I don't see that. They're not even the best team in their own division, with the Patriots leading at 9-2. So there's a lot of concerns as I'm seeing that the receiving core is not as good. The offensive line gets harassed in games where Josh Allen just can't operate the way he needs to, and that's a problem. Like I'm legitimately concerned about this Bills team, legitimately, because in my own estimation, I see a team that we possibly could see an early playoff exit, much earlier than we expect. That's what I'm seeing with this Bills team, and that's something I didn't expect to see. And I know the Bills curse and all of those reoccurring things that we always mention is probably going to be addressed again. But this is just even like more of a letdown than even that. Like this is just like, oh, like this team is just not even as good as like a contender should be. And so like if you're gonna have these high highs of like, oh, he had Josh Allen 6 touchdowns against Tampa Bay last Sunday, looked amazing, unstoppable. And then the next week it's just like it's a completely different guy. Not on, not saying that Josh Allen is an inconsistent player, but I'm saying the team that he's on has become inconsistent. Very. So that is something that is definitely, I think it's an alarming red flag at this point. At 7-4, not where they want it to be. I also want to get to the Eagles and the Lions. The Eagles, they were able to win 16-9 this past Sunday night at home against Detroit, moving to 8-2. Jalen Hurts only had 1 touchdown, and the Eagles, they're the only team in the NFC East with more than 3 wins, and the second one in the conference, 8 victories, putting them in sole position to take the top seed. I mean, Cowboys have 4 wins now. So the Eagles are great. The Eagles are a great team. First off, I want to start by just giving them credit. And I don't want to seem like I'm just this constant Eagles hater, as like I've been kind of categorized ever since the the Chiefs and Eagles Super Bowl from last year. The Eagles, they're a great team. They win in a way that's very like mundane and is gritty and just gets the job done. Much, much props to them for that. I just don't like their style of football, and it's kind of just boring to me. I don't know any other way to put it. Their brand of football, it's just the last 2 times I've watched them play, I've legitimately like fell asleep halfway through the game because it was so boring. Like that never happens because they have marquee games. They played Monday night against the Packers and then the following Sunday night against the Lions. And both times, like halfway through, I've like fallen asleep. And I know you guys can say, "Oh, well, that's your fault. That's your problem." Oh, okay, look at you. You're not entertained by fundamental quality sound football. I mean, whatever. If that's what you guys want to say, that's okay. But I am just saying, as a viewer who watches these games every week, I don't find their brand of football appealing to watch. And I think that's okay. They're great. I'm giving them their flowers. They probably will probably get back to the NFC Championship. I'm rooting for the Rams because I find the Rams more appealing to watch. I like Matthew Stafford. I like Sean McVay. I like uh I'm not gonna say the guys' names, but is it but Bakua, Nakua? I don't I always mess up this guy's name, but that guy. Like I just genuinely find the Rams to be a very exciting, thrilling team to watch, and I do like offense. I do. But I also think there could be, I'm not saying they have to be this like stalwart and just fireworks offensive team. I'm not saying that. But we could see some more explosion. We could. And then the AJ Brown bickering about him not getting the ball as much and this and that. And then Jalen Hurts is becoming, I'm seeing some Russell Wilson, you know, comparisons in terms of like the locker room. Like, is he actually locked in with these guys? Does he feel like, do they feel connected to him? The same with the Legion of Boom, they didn't feel connected to Russell Wilson. They were like, man, like he just has he has his own like side of the locker room. He gets all this treatment separated from us. He's not really one of the guys. He just does his own thing, team, and then see you later. Um, I don't know if that's the guy Jalen Hurts is in the locker room with this. I mean, we're not in the Eagles locker room, um, unless you're a Philly reporter. But again, if there's a Philly reporter listening to this, hey, reach out, talk. I want to have the conversation. I want to know what goes on in those locker rooms, and the things that you can say if you want to have that conversation. But I just, for one, do not believe that this team has the same camaraderie that they did a year ago. That's fine. No problems there. Um, but they're winning. At the end of the day, they're winning, and I don't see them really having any struggles or any challenges with with any team besides the Rams. Besides the Rams. I did pick the Buccaneers to get the Super Bowl. Bucks Chiefs. That was my Super Bowl prediction. I'm not gonna hide away from that. It's not looking as good, obviously, right now. It's not. Bucks are kind of are trailing and needing to get back into the groove of winning, and they're going to be playing the Rams, which we're going to get to. So, um, it's another thing I had some thoughts on, and then Chiefs Broncos is the big game for sure. That was the marquee game of this past Sunday, besides the Lions Eagles, and the Broncos are able to win 22-19, and Lutz has a last second field goal, extending their win streak to 8 games, and this game almost seemed like not a passing of the torch because I don't think the Chiefs are done, but it also seemed as though like, man, this division is no longer going to be a walk in the park. You've got like another giant emerging in that division. And that's what the Broncos are becoming. They're becoming that. Like Bo Nix showed me something. He showed me that he at times can be streaky in the first 3 quarters, but when it's fourth quarter money time, when it's time to like really like put your money where your mouth is, oh, he's gonna do it. He's gonna deliver. He's gonna step up. And that's what he did. That's absolutely what he did in that fourth quarter, and they're able to win it. I'm not gonna lie, after Travis Kelce had that touchdown to take the lead up to like I believe it was 19-16. I want to make sure I'm getting that right. I genuinely was like, oh, okay, Chiefs got it. Chiefs got it. It felt like that. It genuinely felt like, okay, like that was not the dagger because there was a lot of time left. I think there was about like 8 minutes left around that time. But I was like, oh, like, okay, that's the Chiefs. You know what I mean? Like Kelsey looked good. Kelsey looked really good. Mahomes didn't. Mahomes was very flustered, but I also think that Broncos defense has the ingredients that Eagles defense had, where it's just like if you really like got a front four that's gonna like rattle him, oh, it's gonna be a long day. It's gonna be a long day in the office for Mahomes. So I genuinely think yeah, the Broncos are legitimate. That was the big takeaway there. And before we move on with the Chiefs, um, are they done? I'd never say that. I would never be too naive and foolish to say that because I think this upcoming game tomorrow against the Colts is going to be the that's going to be the sign because I genuinely think like that's their season on the line. I think that game is the season on the line. They have to win that game. Like we're in late November talking about a Chiefs must win, and I can't remember the last time that's happened, but that they have to win that game. They have to. Then you got the Cowboys Thanksgiving. So I feel as though this team is better than last year's because if you look at last year's team, they were winning all these like one score games, and it was just like, oh man, like they're 15-1, they're looking good, they're chasing three-peat, but they were skating by those games, and it's just like, should they really have won that game? Like probably not. But this team, I think, is a better team offensively, more explosion, but they're not able to win the close games, which is kind of like puzzling. And that's what they have to do. They have to win. You got to win the close games. You can't make as many mistakes and turnovers. That's going to kill you, especially when you're going to be playing a lot of, and you're going to get you got the target on your back. You're always going to get the team's best effort. So I genuinely think that's the case there. Um, Before we get to break, I wanted to talk about Aaron Rodgers and obviously he had an injury. He was sidelined Wednesday with a fracture in his left wrist, staying against the Bengals, and I believe he returned to practice on Thursday. He said, "quote It feels better than it did Sunday, that's for sure. Was thankful to get today to work with head athletic trainer Gabe Ampata and just focus on rehab for today. Trying to get back on the field tomorrow, and see what I can do." End quote. So with Aaron Rodgers and the Steelers, they are in a position where they started the season off very strong, looked better than they probably should have, from what we expected. And I want to get you the record. They are 6-4, still top of the division. but the Ravens are on the way. The Ravens are on the way. I don't think there's any secret there. The Ravens are 5-5, second in their division, and I think this is what happens, especially when you like have Lamar Jackson coming back for the Ravens, and they're going to be on the trail. I think they're going to win that division. Like that's my prediction. That was one of my predictions for my last one of my Wellington's Wise Zone videos last week. But I genuinely think like the Ravens are going to win it, and I think the Steelers are they're a flawed offensive unit. I think the defense keeps them in a lot of games from the games I saw them when they finally were playing more nationally televised games. They're a flawed offensive unit. And certain throws I've seen Aaron Rodgers be able to make, even misses he's had for DK Metcalf, he hasn't been able to nail those same throws. So I would say that this Steelers team is going to be in a battle with the Ravens. The Ravens are on their way; they're coming, and that'll be my predictions for who should win the AFC North as we're kind of getting into that race of like, especially after Thanksgiving, it's going to be like a fast trail, a fast dash for like who can get into that playoff rankings. We're gonna take a quick break, and I'll be right back.